and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Now, this quote is just telling us that no matter what mistakes or regrets lie behind us, we are not defined by them. The past is fixed. We can't rewrite what has already happened, but the future remains unwritten and full of possibility. Each day offers a new opportunity to take responsibility, learn from past experiences, and make choices that lead us toward a better outcome. It is a message of hope and empowerment, encouraging us to stop dwelling on what we can't change, instead focus our energy on what we create from this moment forward. Sometimes, yes, certain things happen and we keep replaying it in our minds, wanting so badly to change it because, you know, if that hadn't happened, something else wouldn't have happened in the present. And the whole quote is just telling us that it's already happened. There's nothing you can do about it. It's fixed. It's happened. But the future, you know, is open to a lot of possibility, and it all lies within us, you know, the power to change the outcomes and, you know, create outcomes that we desire. So yes, the past has already happened. The past is not the present. It's not the future either. The future is full of possibility. So I really hope that this quote motivates us to, you know, try to look forward, look beyond the past, you know, don't dwell so much on the past anymore, but rather look at the possibilities we can create when it comes to the future. Now, let's take our weather forecast for this morning. Okay, so we're having a bit of a delay when it comes to the display, but I will give us the basic overview of the weather forecast. And it says here that during the early morning hours of today, and now this forecast is brought to us by the Ghana Meteorological Agency or Authority as they've become. And it says here, during the early morning hours, misty or foggy weather is expected to develop and reduce visibility within the forest and hilly areas of southern Ghana. But partly cloudy conditions will dominate the remaining sectors as the day advances. Mostly sunny conditions with occasional cloudiness will be observed across southern Ghana. Nonetheless, there is a likelihood of thunderstorms with rain over the coastal and middle belts later today. Now, it says here we should note that a weak to moderate rainstorm situated over southern Benin is anticipated to propagate to affect parts of southern Ghana during the afternoon hours. Now, this is from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, a 24-hour impact-based forecast for Ghana. So yes, as it says here, it looks like there is going to be a likelihood of some rain. So yes, as always, be strapped with an umbrella. If you have two, you can lend one to a friend. Get a raincoat if the umbrella is too heavy. If you have a car and you're driving and, you know, the clouds are forming, somebody is walking, you can give someone a lift and, you know, help them. And if you're not, you know, fortunate to get a lift, please do stay at vantage points that are safe so that there's no disaster where you become a victim. Up next, or right after this break, we're going to be having our online and print review, and then we get into the discussions. So please do well to send in your comments and your suggestions, your insights onto our WhatsApp number or onto our Facebook and YouTube live stream. We will be right back. You're welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show, and if you're just tuning in, it's time for our online imprint review. And I have here with me my co-hosts in the persons of Miriam Abnadidi and Clement Yabankwe. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning, Yaira.
I hope we are well.
We can't complain. God has been good.
Right.
And we are fortunate.
So the weekend is coming. Any plans?
Yaira, as I'm sitting here, I don't know if I should plan or not because you can't tell what tomorrow
will bring.
It's
true.
Especially with those that went for the recruitment yesterday and those that unfortunately passed on. They also had plans.
Yeah, they did.
They had plans for the weekend. And those people were females. I mean, they were going to do things, to boost their energy and everything. But unfortunately, a country called Ghana
happened to them.
And it's so sad. As I'm sitting here, I don't have any plans.
You want to stay in your home and
let me stay in my home.
It's understandable. Clement?
Yeah, I love the fact that Mimi said as a result of the incident, she's not having plans. But this morning, the court made us understand that no matter the past, we should be able to plan for today. So if yesterday didn't treat us well, that doesn't mean that we should remain silent for today. I am fortunate to read the book of Apostle Jeffrey, who appeared on the show last Tuesday on money mindset. And he said that if you fail to save or invest 20 years ago, as a result of that, you think you are financially bankrupt or whatever word you use, today is the right day that you're supposed to put yourself together, start saving once again. So just want to tell viewers that despite of what happened yesterday, it's a very bad incident, but that doesn't mean that recruitment must not go on. It should, but in a different way.
Okay, so basically we are just going to dive into the conversation about the, services recruiting their new members and new employees, and it's led to the death of about six young ladies with, bright futures, and 25 people were injured. Yes, they were in the hospital, rushed to the hospital, and it has caused a lot of, conversation online and offline where people are, talking about the fact that Ghana has happened to them. And I think we should go into the conversation at once, yes.
I was very happy when you read today's quote. I mean, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. This is not the first time we're experiencing recruitment in Ghana. And over the years, I've always known Ghana to be a reactive country, like a responsive. We are always waiting for something to happen, then we respond to it. I always thought it was in my head. I mean, yes, people say it, but we are just taking it like that. Until yesterday, I realized that, we haven't gotten there. We haven't gotten there yet as a country. Because tell me why, after independence, how many years now? And this is not the first time we are recruiting people. It's as if we like to see people struggle. We enjoy seeing people stand in scorchy sands, do things like we are happy. And I heard somebody saying that, call military, what do you expect? I mean, this is just recruitment, not training. Recruitment. The person doesn't even know if he's going to be selected or not. Should I go through stress?
Just because I want a job.
And it takes us back to the issue of unemployment in Ghana. Because it is very, very high. Someone even said, most of them have jobs. It's out of selfishness and greediness that they went again. Who doesn't want better?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want better?
And, with the conversation about the unemployment rates, when I read that some people were there the previous day at at as early,
2
when it comes to
1 a.m.
some people were there at 9 p.m. the previous evening.
Okay.
They slept there. And this is to show us that the unemployment rates are so high. People are that desperate to, what's the word I want to use? Put their security in danger. They put themselves in danger to be out there at 9 p.m. till the next morning. Yeah. What are the dangers that you can even foresee? Look at the kinds of, as a young lady, for us, the young ladies, there are certain times you don't even go out and walk alone because you're not likely to be safe. And because of jobs, people are out here at that time.
Yeah.
Look at the way we talk about the phenomenon of kwashe boys and whatnot. Yeah. All these people are out there just because they want jobs. They want to be served early enough. And look at the desperation, what it's caused them. They've been there since that time, whether they get to shower. Even, those things at this point are not even things we should talk about. They're almost unnecessary. Yeah. But looking at things, security. Yeah. What if you get robbed? What if you get kidnapped? What if you get raped? What if you get killed there? Yeah. And your belongings are stolen? All in the name of I'm going to search for a job.
Yesterday on my way back home, I met one lady in a Trotsky. She was coming back from Elwak. She looked very young, like 17, 18, and she was also part of the people. And you can just imagine 17 years, 18 years, going there at night before the day.
And imagine what the parents are feeling.
The announcement wasn't made yesterday that recruitment was going to start. What preparations did management or leadership at the Ghana Armed Forces do? Because you are aware that you are going to have a recruitment session. What did you do? Venue, selection. Should it be at Elwak? Should we have just one venue? When we have Independence Square, we have the stadium, can't you do it in batches? Like, why?
Exactly. I was thinking about that we are in the age where technology and even, our former vice president was talking about digitalization and whatnot. And sometimes even likening it to sometimes our schools, when you get admission, how these things are done, the interviews, they do these things in batches. You check your resources, your manpower, and then you make arrangements for that. So if today the Ghana Armed Forces can only interview about 200 people, even if it's alphabetically, because these people have sent applications, so you have the database of their records, you can arrange them alphabetically. So from A to B, we are handling you today. A to B is maybe just 200 people. You handle them so they know that, okay, my name starts with Z. I know, okay, in about a few weeks, I will be called. Yeah. Why have this number of people, this large group of people come there? And definitely is going to be overwhelming, because I was thinking about the fact that this one is military. They can be holding, people are usually scared of soldiers, but at this point it was beyond them.
I've been there before, so I know how the experience is. Like, I think 4 years or 5 years ago, I went for police recruitment, and it wasn't a joke. Like, it wasn't just to be selected. It wasn't like. And it wasn't a joke.
We cannot talk about this without talking about the behavior of the people themselves, these recruits that were going to, because from what I heard, I think a colleague's son also went. He was safe, fortunately, and he was talking about the fact that they themselves were not particularly compliant with because they broke into the place. You've been asked to stand here and wait. Maybe you'll be called in numbers or batches or something, and these people forcefully enter. So when you enter, what happens?
No, because we are in a country where alleged protocol happens. So we see people, they've asked us to all stand here, yet we are seeing people pass, the back door, you are going there. So you that came at 2 a.m.
So if you jump the wall, you scale the wall, you break the gate and enter, what do you go and get there? Because
desperation. We don't want to be cheated.
What exactly can you do when you get there, when you do all this takashi? Because rather you'll be tagged as indisciplined and probably
that's the same thing that happens during voting. You wonder, like, what do you stand to gain? It's human nature. We are just desperate.
No, it's beyond human nature at this point. Clement, you've been typing and jotting down your notes. We would like to hear from you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate incident as you said, and it's very bad, but let's set it straight. This incident, or what you're talking about, is happening across all the 16 regions, not only in Greater Accra. So the question is, why did you record this incident in Greater Accra? That should be the conversation. If we are saying the management of Ghana Armed Forces didn't put the necessary measures in place, what happens to other regions?
Clement,
It's 16 regions.
It happened in other regions. It's just that we haven't heard, casualties.
There hasn't been any casualty yet.
It happens all the time until
Okay.
6 people died.
Okay, so as I said, I was making a point. So what happens to the other 15 regions that yesterday they also started the process? Does it mean that the number of applicants that went through the process online in Greater Accra is more than the people over in the other regions? Why? So these are the analysis that we need to have a look at. If we are having the breakdown, as the President may understand, that they are going to have quotas to all the regions. So if Greater Accra was the one who received the highest, was it the reason why we are having this incident? If they did, then what measures was put in place? I know that this exercise was supposed to take place yesterday and today across all the 16 regions in the country. So if it's yesterday and today, you have the database of these applicants. Whether they are 5,000 or 10,000 in Greater Accra, you know. So and I'm yet to get a document from GFA, but they are saying that it is in badges. Today, like yesterday, was for some group of people. They are aware, and today it is for another group of people. It's not all the applicants in Greater Accra region that was supposed to report. That was yesterday. So as we said, sometimes we need to look at the behavior of the ordinary Ghanaian, of the applicant. I think one of the major issues, as you all mentioned, is the issue of the unemployment. Because as a result of unemployment, everybody wants to get a job doing. And one of the avenue is this security agencies that we have in the country. So if I have the zeal, I have the passion to go into military, and even on grounds, the day of me submitting my documentation, I am faced with issues like this, then that should tell me what is ahead of me. Oh yes, that should tell me what is ahead of me. I saw someone's comment online was like, yeah, that is military. So you need to be smart. But forget about the smartness of the work. We are talking about...
This is not training. It is not training.
We are talking about let the system or let everything in the country work. Why can't we move to online? Why can't we go digital on this application? It's not just the confirmation of documentation. It's not just the confirmation of the height of the person we are talking about. So can't we have a system developed whereby the person can confirm everything he has presented without even physical, without in person? Can't it be done? So I think the Ghana Armed Forces need to take a critical look at this very aspect you are talking about. Recruitment process in the country. As Mimi said, this is not the first time. We've been recording this issue. And LWAC has always been used. So this time around, we should know that, can LWAC still accommodate the people you are bringing in? If you are saying that the entrance was locked, why was the entrance locked at that point in time? That is another question you need to ask.
Because people slept there the nights before.
Exactly. So why was the entrance locked? Yara, if we all here, there was only one door to get access to a gold, and we're about 1,000. Everybody wants to force inside and go to get to the gold we are talking about. So that is the behavior of the people who were there. And it's not a bad one, but I think that management of Ghana Armed Forces need to put strategic measures in place so that they are now, President said it should be suspended indefinitely. We are hoping to see the next step, which is going to be laid down. I'm listening to one of the officials, they were talking that yes, the casualties reporters or the dead people are not 12, they are 6, they are not this.
Even if it's one.
Even if it's one.
Exactly, that's the point I'm arriving at.
It's somebody's, family member.
A family has sent, or you are there and your child, the only thing the child wants to do is to help the country in terms of security, to help solve the issues of illegal mining we are dealing with. It's just same military people. And your child tells you that he's going to submit or going for documentation, going for his height. And the next thing you hear is that the child is not coming back. The child is not coming back. It's so sad.
You've prayed and anointed this child that favor will locate the child, and Ghana happens to this child.
And it brings me to a very sensitive comments that one of our members of parliament passed yesterday, which I think we didn't need at this time. No, regardless of your belief. I heard she's a Muslim, but we don't need that, sensitive message now. She made mention of the fact that it was their time to die, and that God is aware that they are going to die. This is how God wanted them to die. Are we not God's children?
Some things are preventable, and then some things too. Yes, we understand that, yes, God has a plan for everybody's life and whatnot. But there are certain things that are not particularly the will of God. When we talk about the acceptable will and, not trying to preach or anything, but
Preach, my sister.
when Clement mentioned the fact that yesterday was for a specific batch. Today was supposed to also be for a specific batch. Now, let's liken it to, we'll bring it back to the death issue. Let's liken it to the national service, personnel at the moment, where they book the day and time they're supposed to come and present their, evaluation forms. Hey, how could I forget the name of that? To the various districts and whatnot, secretariats. If yesterday's batch, we know, okay, it's about 500 people. We have about basically 24 hours in the day. Okay, let's use the 8-hour working time, right? Now, if these people were given specific times, let's say, Miriam, you are coming at 1 p.m., you should be done by 2 p.m. to leave. Clement, you are coming at 4 p.m. We give maybe 100 people a certain time frame to come and be served and leave.
Yeah.
So that in the time Miriam's batch is being served, maybe Clement's batch, they want to come early. They've come early, they are waiting because they know, when we look at the discipline aspect, they know that, okay, my time is not yet up. Let me not go and try to do anything. Yeah. In this case, would there have been a stampede?
No.
Would somebody have died for it to now have become God's appointed way for the person to die? No. Because we have, other countries that we learn a few things from. Yeah. And we are, trying to emulate and assimilate a few things, incorporate certain things into our systems. And are you telling me that stuff like this, at this point in 2025, stampedes are happening for recruitment, and it is
God's will?
God's will. I don't want to use the word wise, but this is not something that we should even involve God in. If it is our own systems working against us. Because if you take, you have a loved one to one of the hospitals and there is no bed, there are no personnel to, attend to the person, and the person dies. Is that really God's will? No. It is Ghana that had happened to the person. There was a lack of resources.
I want to come in. When you keep on mentioning Ghana that has happened to the person, I want to understand.
We're talking about, when we say don't let Ghana happen to you, it's about, yes, Ghana has failed you, the lack of resources, when we talk about, let's say, road accidents, the fact that, there are so many potholes and the roads are not being constructed properly, and this is something that should have been done. These are basic needs that should have been met. Exactly. Look at the issue with the hospitals. Even though I digress a little, where you get there and mothers are giving birth on the floor. Surgeons are using pure water, using flashlights to attend to people, to conduct major surgeries. If these people don't come out alive, are we really going to sit down and say it's God? It's not.
We can't
say God's appointment, because God gave us the knowledge and whatnot to create the systems, and we haven't created them properly enough to help us. But these systems are rather one way or another oppressing us. We can't sit back and say it's God's appointed time.
If we had not lost the 6 people, may their souls rest in peace. If we had not lost them, we wouldn't have been having this conversation today. Seriously, we will not even talk about it because, it is recruitment, it is military. This is what has been happening in Ghana for so many years until we lost 6 people.
We lost lives, and now it is going to cause the leaders to look into alternative ways to make this more seamless.
Why didn't we plan into it? That's why I said the recruitment announcement wasn't done just in a day. Maybe weeks ago, a week ago. What plans did you make?
The recruitment could have even been done at district levels, or constituency level. So now you don't need a whole horde of the whole Accra coming to Elwak. Wherever you live, go there.
Those people
get
we
all
saw
of that
yesterday
done.
are not
Even the whole Accra.
Some people came from different regions.
Oh Christ!
Some people came from different
So
regions.
let me say this. What the member of parliament said, yes, as you said, everybody has his own belief. People would say that God knows the best. He knows the appointed time for everybody to die. But the way and manner of your death, that was not determined by God. That is another point we should put out there. And the next thing I just want to also make is the fact that let's come to the applicant. The applicant, really ordinary Ghanaian. Incidents like this has happened. If you take a look at all the angles of the video, what you are seeing on the screen is just one angle.
Yeah.
You can't actually see the stampede issue itself.
There was one, I saw a lady climb the wall. She was sitting on top
we
of
have different angles of this. What is displayed on the screen? There was one where even some of the applicants were stepping on others on the floor. So yes, the system is failing us. But what about you?
Yes. So
If the
this
system
issue is
is failing us,
multifaceted, and I need us to not do blame game, but let's address it.
So if the system is failing us, what about you? What is the role to make the system work? We always talk about issues when it happens, and we tend to look at the authorities. The authorities. What is the role? What role did you play as an ordinary Ghanaian? You found out that your colleague is lying down, lifeless, helpless, and you are stamping her head. Is it the president made a speech during the launch of Koko and he said that according to reports, people were saying that Tiano Sone Yanko. Why would you do that?
We are wicked.
Why would you do that?
We are wicked, and
So
these are the people who want to serve the country.
If you are going to search for a job, there is a competition. We understand there is a competition. Should you, at the expense of someone's life, for you to gain whatever you want to gain? No. So that is another conversation we all look at. Those on ground, let's be one other's keeper. We keep on preaching this. We keep on telling people about this. Let's be one other's keeper. And that is the way to go. Because if the love is there, and you realize that there is this situation happening, your colleague is on the floor, what do? You all should stop all the whatever you are doing. Help save lives. That is the military. You are there as someone who is going to safeguard the security of the country. And already at the process of application documentation, you found your colleague lying down and you can't help the colleague to come back to life. And you said such person wants to safeguard the security of the country. No, that is not the way to go. So one, the ordinary Ghanaian, those applicants have a role to play. What was the issue actually? The issue is that many applicants breached the safety protocol that was laid down. Don't go to this place. What's say Ehwana Mefa? But the report, safety protocol was breached. If you're supposed to pass through the right channel, like incidents like this wouldn't have happened. 2, report shows that people slept there. People got there 2 a.m. ahead of time. And the question is, why would you get there early? We understand we are in an environment where it is first come, first serve. When you get there early, you are served first and you go. So I understand that kind of system that people need to get there on time, then you are being served, then you go. The other point is, you are there as, I don't know, but as a security already, you are now going to be passed through the process. But you have the mindset of a security officer. The mindset of a security officer.
Not yet.
You have. Because you see, the very day you accept it, or the very day you intend to even start filling the form, that time alone should tell you that you've programmed yourself as a military person. I have a colleague who told me, Clement, I had opportunity to go into military, but I don't have that psychological mindset to go into military. So in the first place, I won't go. So one, let the applicants, now they've suspended indefinitely. These are the things that Ghana Armed Forces need to check. These are the things. Let's go through the investigation. We learned a committee has been formed, investigation is ongoing and all these kind of things. We understand you are running for your life.
Investigation into what?
We understand you are running for your life. We understand you want people to be saved, but we shouldn't do that at the expense of the others.
So now, how are they going to compensate the families of those who died?
I'm coming to that. The next thing is the Ghana Ambulance Service. the other safety who quick response to issues. They should have been there. I don't know, but we are yet to find out. All these people were supposed to be there as early as a reported time, so that if there is any emergency, quickly you respond to that.
Okay,
because
but with this issue, I want to ask a question. Even if all of these emergency response personnel were around, is it not likely that the number of people was overwhelming, even for them to handle?
That is the issue.
So the issue we have here is crowd control. So there was an issue with how crowd should be controlled there. And I don't know whether it's the communication to the applicant that was not made clear.
That's even what I wanted to talk about.
That was not made clear because
some people were not supposed to be there and they went. They were not scheduled for that day.
but they
went.
So the communication between the management and the applicant need to be made clear. Maybe already their previous, let's say, elderly sister or those who applied initially have already given them information that whenever you get a message, get there 2 a.m. When you go there, you need to be fast. You need to. Sometimes when I go for places like this, you do take a lot of ideas from such people. So they have that kind of mindset that I want a battlefield. That is the kind of mindset people. That is the kind of mindset people are having. But I think you want to say something.
I wanted to ask a question too. We were talking about the fact that people need to care for one another and all of that. I'm not justifying this either. I just want us to think about something. We are talking about how high the unemployment rates are, to the point where the youth are desperate. And I want to ask that if, let's say, job opportunities were so many that the youth now has options, would we find situations where people are climbing over one another just to get a job? No. Then there's also the aspect, I want to liken it to poverty a little, that all three of us here are hungry. They've brought a loaf of bread. We are ravenously hungry. This time, your stomach is eating itself because you're hungry. The instinct will not be, okay, one person should take it and let's cut it. Everybody just wants to run to it because of the level of the hunger. So is it not another thing we should look at, that this is how deep the issue runs, that caring about your brother is not even an option. You are thinking so much of yourself and whatever problems this job opportunity would solve for you, that it is when a casualty like this happens that your mind now comes back to the fact that this is a life.
You have a point, Yaira. You see, it's been, I think, close to 8 years or 9 years since this public recruitment was done or announcement was done for military specifically. And so people have been waiting. People have been wanting to
go in there,
into the military. So it's very understandable with what you are saying. But it doesn't also, give us the opportunity or the privilege to kill our brothers and sisters just because I want to get into the military. Just as I was saying earlier, it is just enlistment, recruitment, keke. It is not training. Just submit your documents. They would screen you and see if you are fit for the job. If you are not, you go home. Why do you have to kill your brother and sister? Are you not human? Don't you have blood flowing through your system?
They don't take it as they killed the person. It is a sort of tussle, right? So the person accidentally fell. Maybe my shoulder hits the person. I probably didn't realize. Clement too hit the person in a way or stepped on the person. So they don't think, they don't look at it as they killed somebody.
The person was lying on the floor.
Before the person reaches the floor, it's like, I say, what's the word I want to use? Maybe collateral damage. I'm not justifying. I'm just trying to look at it in the sense that sometimes that feeling of guilt does not come because it's like, we are trying and then the person fell down.
That one too is a fact.
Exactly.
It is military.
It's military.
I'm not surprised that I'm
issues
not
like
saying
that,
this to worsen the case, but those that died are females. You should know what you are going into. Like, it is military.
But you see, here is the case. There are people who went there thinking that since it is military, there will be some disciplinary enforcement. They'll keep them in queues, head them properly. But here is the case that did not happen. So
very expected.
Somebody to, it's not about the action. So move 2 steps forward, everybody, that kind of thing.
And then, let me give a message to my mother. Ma, so we'll share interview, discussion where no one will answer me. Say, me police, me military.
You and your personal sentiments, not here, please. The feelings and sentiments of each of us here do not reflect.
She's always on my neck.
Please, Miriam, do not reflect the general, sentiments of everybody or the TV station. This is just a conversation. Now, I think we would like to, in conclusion, tell the stakeholders involved that they should find a way to make it seamless, reduce the numbers so that they themselves don't even get too overwhelmed, and then crowd control. The emergency responses should also be up and doing. And yes, our deepest heartfelt condolences to the families of the departed 6. We are deeply, deeply sorry for your losses, and we hope that in trying times like this, God,
I just want to
gives you some solace and comfort.
In a way of, compensating the families of those who lost their lives. I think I agree with Pakwesi Shandov. And he said, aside, reforming the military recruitment process, another way to honor the 6 people is to grant amnesty enrollment. At least one member from each family should be enrolled. I think it will go a long way to, calm the family down, because
so Ghana Armed Forces is the reason one person in my family has died. Now they want to come and collect another one.
Oh no,
it is not likely they would.
You won't go through the process.
No, because
you won't go through the process.
It will leave a bitter taste in their mouths for the meantime.
So you prefer money?
For now, there can be other ways. Something can be done about it, because if an institution is the reason you lost somebody, and now this institution is saying, okay, bring a new person, it's like, so what happened to the first one? Why couldn't you protect that person? Something like that.
Yeah,
these are all various ways people would look at it. But we need to go into the next stories.
Yeah, I don't last thing. In paying for say in Sufa or by no interest of one that's another thing we should all get to understand. I think it's a good submission from him, and Ghana Armed Forces should make it possible. Because if my brother or my sister is coming, this issue has happened to him, at least let a different person come to bring the shine to the family. I think it's a good call.
And then if they're going to do that, then there should be some counseling for them, because the trauma around that is also something that.
And the 25 people that are
also injured.
They should go them if they are fit. Regardless of their height.
It will bring different issues, but I think.
Which issues? You didn't protect us.
Okay, well, we're hoping to hear more, and we're hoping that our leaders learn from this incident and do better moving forward. Now let's go into the next trending thing. I think I saw on social media that the widow of one of the departed 8, a few months ago, is facing a sort of lawsuit with regards to the paternity of their child. And it's coming, it's creating conversations,
National conversations.
Yes, about the fact that, she just lost her husband and now they are bringing this up on her. There are also reports that apparently the late Samuel Abuaji, I stand to be correct, if I'm correct, had doubts about the paternity of the child and was actually making plans to have that checked. And now this is being done now. And,
when it comes to DNA issues, I think it's not only with a case that maybe the wife cheated on the man or the man cheated on the wife. With this case, they just wanted a sample to be able to determine the remains of the late Samuel Abuaji. So they wanted to use the child of the
what about his parents, his siblings?
That's what I even wanted to talk about. Why are you singling out that child? The person has siblings. The person has parents. I mean, this is a widow who is mourning, her husband. Why do you have to take her through the stress? And for me, following the case, I just feel it is beyond what we are seeing. What if the lady doesn't even trust the people requesting for the DNA test. Because you're in a country where everything is possible. You can manipulate results, you can do anything just to make a point that, oh, our son was right about you. What if it is true that, oh, the child belongs to the man, but they will change it? We should explore other options. It is not always going to be the case that the woman cheated on the man and blah, blah, blah. Now they are saying DNA test is more important than naming ceremony. Before you name a child, you should run a DNA test.
You know, what you're even saying brings my mind back to one of the cultural practices that I think we have in the whole of Africa, which is widowhood rights, where a widow is put through so much. I don't want to use cruelty, but the widowhood rights they perform for a widow, by the time she comes out of that, you wonder if this family actually accepted her into their family, you know, to marry their son. And even though widowhood rights are not particularly popular anymore, we tend to still have, you know, remnants of that sort of culture where, you know, someone dies and his widow is treated a little different by the family when it comes to the will reading, or if the person died interstate, you know, property division. And there's so much animosity against the woman he went to marry. And it's almost strange, especially in this issue, if one way or another it's even linked to that the family probably is trying to get a reason to get her out of the benefits that may come.
About this
because these are some of the things popping up.
We are not considering the relationship that existed between the woman and the family.
Or even the family,
The family. And when a man passes on, the way the family comes out to be very defensive and protective of their
assets, as though you were some stranger.
When you were alive, it wasn't like that. Why are they doing that now?
So I think
let's hear from the men. Spokesperson for the men.
What is the purpose of DNA test?
To find out the paternity of a child.
Exactly. So if you have an incident, a very tragic incident, which happened in August, 8 people died, lost their life in a very tragic incident. And the whole point was that you're supposed to do DNA to be able to identify that this one is Dr. Manibuama, this one is Samuel Abuaje, this one is the Minister for Environment and all these kind of people. The first person to communicate this with is the family. When it gets to the family then needs to communicate with the nuclear family. The nuclear family. That is, if it's me, you need to communicate with my wife. For my wife to understand. Because the Bible makes us understand that when a father or a man leaves the family, he said a man will leave the family and cleave with the wife as one. So now it is you and your wife as one. You've left the family. So if there's an issue, the first place they should consult is the family, the nuclear family. So looking at the issue, then it's the wife that you are supposed to inform. The family did that and asked you that the way forward is to bring the child and let the DNA to find out that indeed, so that we can be able to identify that this is the father. There's a lot of questions around it.
Yeah.
Even a child, a very young baby, we can still do DNA on that person. So the question is, why is the mom saying no? That is first question. The second question is, the mom came down to Ghana. The doctors came from Accra to Obuasi, but the child was not there. Why? So you see, I always thank God that general manager will be like the why principle. You see, all the issue we are talking about is because of the actions of the woman. That has brought all the issues up here. Assuming if the woman had accepted that, oh, why not? It's my husband. He's passed and gone. Let's do the DNA test and let's find out the results. Like all these brouhaha issues wouldn't have happened. That is point number one. Mimi, I'm coming. I hope you want to say something. That is point number one. On the other side of the story, when they realized that the wife was saying no to the DNA of the child, then the family have no other option than to resort on the other child of the man. The man had other children, the first and the second. So you need to resort to the other child, of which that one was allowed. So the question is, if you are my wife today, and there's an issue, happening.
Miriam, please.
Yeah, so, and there's issue happening. And I come to you that, Yara, this is the situation, so let the child do the DNA. And Yara, you are saying no. And now I go to Mimi. I tell Mimi, and Mimi says, okay, no problem. Use the child, whatever you want to use as a DNA. And they do that. What do you think would go through the mind of the family?
So
these are the issues.
So in the fact that the baby was also not around when they were in Obuasi, could it be that maybe it was for the safety, health, it's a baby.
Yeah.
And their immune systems are, I'm not justifying anything. I'm just, trying to see whether there are,
because the lady is a nurse.
reasons, you see. So maybe all of this is like, the child is too young. Maybe there are other children. Why not use them for the test?
What happened to reusing the mother of the deceased?
The person who gave birth
is
to
the
him.
truest DNA? Like, your mother
Yeah,
is your...
the source.
She gave birth to you. So why can't we use her? Why do we have to use your child if your child is unavailable? Why?
So, Yara, I think this issue, I just want to, the issue is, as somebody see, we've informed you, the wife, that this is what you want to do. You accepted. You came down to Ghana from America. You went to wherever you are, and you made us understand that, yes, the child will be made available. And the next thing realizes that the child is not available. It raises a lot of questions.
So
the question is, if you think that the child will not be available, what do? You communicate to the family. That, for the sake of A, B, C, D, the child probably is not fit for that purpose. As some NASA.
No,
but here is the case that
the relationship that exists between the woman and then the family wasn't
we don't
clear.
know.
From what we are hearing.
You see, the way our African setting is...
maybe she thought they wanted to take the child from her. It is possible.
No matter the kind of relationship that would exist between you and the family of your husband or whosoever, when it comes to the African setup, especially Ghanaian setup, or our culture makes us understand, say, wo worry no worry ebusia. So when you are going to get married, we get married to the family.
Then I don't know your family.
We don't.
Please, you solve your marital issues.
So I think we don't get married to only Mimi, and that is it. When you do that and issues happen, the family of Mimi will pretend as if they don't know you. Because whilst Mimi was alive, you're not living cordially with them. But this were the same family who traveled wherever they are to come and witness the marriage ceremony. So the question is, what happened along the line?
Why didn't someone also conduct the DNA when he was having doubts when he was alive?
I'm coming. You see, Yara, this conversation, in as much as we are talking about DNA.
You were doubting the paternity of your child.
Even that
why didn't you
alleged?
Conduct?
It's alleged.
Yes, because the person is no longer here to confirm whether truly he was doubting the paternity of his child.
They said he wanted to do it, but election was approaching, so he waited. What happened after elections?
Because the accident happened in August.
What happened?
But I wanted to also draw attention to the fact that the way widows are treated, usually, even though it's reduced, but it's still there, her disagreeing to the fact that the child could be used for the DNA testing is something that would raise suspicions very easily in our African setting.
Exactly.
Which is something that I don't know whether it's necessary, but we should also think about the fact that it's a baby. And if there are other options, like you said, there's a first child. So why not? If they say, let's use one of the children, and she decides, okay, this one is older, she understands, and this one is a baby, she's still developing something. Like Miriam also asked, what about the mother? What about the siblings? These things should have been brought in a way that doesn't make it look... Because it can easily feel to her that they are trying to sabotage her widowhood.
To summarize this all, regardless of me defending the woman and everything, you the woman too, if you know you're not hiding anything, why don't you just go through the process and then, if truly the child belongs to the late Samuel Abuaji, you can also sue the family.
Yes, there's an allegation that the child might belong to one member of parliament.
No, we don't want to get into that. But let's look at the report.
Okay, so let's get the report quickly then.
So we were anticipating this report for a long time. The report from the helicopter crash, the lessons and then the way forward. According to the report, the crash was caused by sudden loss of altitude and left due to a downdraft, basically a strong downward wind current that forced the helicopter down unexpectedly.
Yeah.
That was what happened. And
So I want to ask, is this from the black box?
No.
Or we are
Exactly.
yet to
No.
get
Yeah,
it
this is a
is?
black box.
This is black box
box.
information.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So one key takeaway that we are seeing here is that the aircraft then have some modern safety features like terrain awareness and warning systems or advanced navigation mapping. These could have helped the pilots to navigate, their way and everything when this anticipated weather conditions,
Then
started.
it also comes to the meteorological agencies. Wasn't there enough information about the fact that, okay, this area, maybe there are these, what's the name of the thing, the down currents thingy you mentioned? Is maybe this place is prone to having these kinds of currents, the vertical, something that I read about also.
Yeah.
If they could get that information, maybe it would have helped them also plan, because it's not enough to say, okay, the weather will be clear, so and so. I mean, when we read the weather forecast for today, they also said that we should note that there is a storm coming somewhere from southern Benin. It could also come all the way here. So that gives us an idea that, okay, there may be storms. It may be moderate or just, mild or just something small, but there is a storm coming. It's not just left at, okay, the clouds will form, it can rain, but rather some specific information to let you know that, okay, southern Ghana is likely to have a thunderstorm somewhere in the day, could be morning, afternoon, or evening. So I think we need more details when it comes to these things too.
I also want to touch on the fact that they said it didn't have modern, safety features. This was the same helicopter that was supposed to carry the president. I mean, the president was supposed to be on board.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, God, should
No,
I say,
please, let's not.
unfortunately, he
had
couldn't
other.
get. Yes.
Yes.
So what happened to we equipping our helicopters?
There was even conversation about the manufacture date of these helicopters that we have, that it was somewhere in 1980 something. And so there was even there were people that were talking about the fact that we need modernized infrastructure, we need modernized resources, because why are we still using something that was created at a specific time to meet needs in that time? And now as the needs have become bigger and technology has advanced, why not? So I think we even read news on Express Updates about a recommendation to get more, modernized aircraft. So, but
yeah, before, I think, let me say last thing.
One last
I've
thing,
not
there
said
we
anything
go.
about this helicopter issue. What I want to say is this. There was a report that shows that the pilots was not having official weather information.
Yes.
As was the findings.
Yeah.
So how come a pilot will fly without official weather information? That is a big question. Two, the flight was supposed to fly, I think, an hour before the stipulated time. But the report was like there was a delay in the pilots flying it. Why? The point number three, when you listen to the reports, they were like, they were above that height they are talking about. But they don't know, suddenly it came back to wherever this incident actually happened. So the next point is, what is Ghana Armed Forces doing? What are they going to do moving forward? If helicopter is to fly again to Obuasi, which route are they going to use? Is there any alternative ways they can use? And Yara, the last thing is, I would like to entreat viewers to keep watching Clock TV, because we bring them weather reports every blessed morning. So they should keep glued to Clock TV, especially on our morning show, on our express updates and everything we do. The pilot was not having official weather information. But when you watch Clock TV, you get the weather information, you know how to carry yourself.
Pilots should also undergo some simulations on how to tackle weak,
I think they do all of that.
They do, but it is always in a safe, atmosphere.
I mean, the training, you can't. But
so you should
as
anticipate these
Clement
things.
mentioned, the findings came out that they didn't get, weather reports. That is something that we need to work with. All these agencies need to have a meshed, system where you can easily pick up information from one or the other so that the work is seamless. So we are entreating our leadership, our agencies, our systems to try to make their own work seamless and safeguard the lives of citizens and key industry players. Now, this brings us to the end of the online and print review. Today was not an extended version, but, stay tuned to Clock TV, stay tuned to the Koko Morning Show. More interesting conversations are coming up. Up next is the lifestyle segment with Miriam Abnadidi. Stay tuned.
Up with peace like she's the only girl in this place. All of the swag and the accomplishments is all by grace. Patience was there to help me work my fate. Out from the days when we used to write on them slates and sing. But a lyrical with Dini. Tell all these kids more funny than my penny. Taking my time so I can grab a perfect one. My mind know they here, I'm trying to hit the promised line. Yen condom boom, yen fashion gains now. Yeah. Only baby we are both yen condom boom, yen fashion gains now.
Another day, another pressure. Money work, social pressure. By the days we they measure. Guy and Bible with a gesture. Preaching peace, I'm a preacher. Preacher gangster gangster preacher. Spreading love, cause God loves a cheerful giver. Spread love every day. Show love to every face. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. Yeah.
The narrow road is where I'm at to the demons. I'm a hitman trying to put me in a sick bed, but I'm out here preaching the word. Only God knows what I've been through. Oh, yeah, I don't finish school. My parents used to fight kung fu. This life no get part two. Yen condom boom, yen fashion gains now. Yeah. Only baby we are both yen condom boom, yen fashion gains now.
Coffee can't drink, cause somebody help me, man, I feel blood in my eyes. I think your daddy's niggas try hard to demonize. Share me so much, it's been tough to live your right. No more compromise, I couldn't call your name to the sky. I got the fun, where my shows in the fun. Now what share me so bad, boy, man, oh, bear my order come. Yeah, then I'm a dada now, and I'm so never try. We go keep calm.
And I know by now you have signals that we are getting into an exciting weekend once again. You're welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am Miriam Abena Adede. It is time for us to have a conversation that will excite you. To bring down the tension a bit. I have with me an artist here in the studio, and he's going to walk us through his journey into music. We always do this to promote, artists, doing well in the industry. And he's in the person of Joey. Did I get the name right?
Yeah, Joey.
Joey.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here.
Oh. So how long have you been doing music?
Probably like 6 years now. Yeah.
6 years?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And how is it going?
By God's grace, we're on it. It's
You're
going
on
good, yeah.
When did you first discover that you had something for music?
Yeah, that was in like 2014 when I was in JHS, yeah. Used to, play around in class, freestyle. Had friends, they'll be playing beats on desk and be freestyling during break time, sometimes during free times in class. Teachers will come around, end up punishing us and stuff because we are making noise. So it just became something I fell in love with, yeah.
And during that time, it was just you being a kid.
Yes.
But when you grew up, you matured. When did it start? When did you know that this was my sign? This was me starting music?
Yeah, that was in 2019.
2019?
Yeah, right after I completed SHS.
SHS, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's when I took it professionally.
Okay, so do you remember the first song you produced?
Yeah.
Can you give us a line or two? Because usually those songs faster,
Yeah, but it's still on platforms though. I had to upload it later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because it was hit. It was.
Yeah, it was a jam.
Oh, okay.
It was a jam. It was really a jam.
So I want to hear a line or two to see if it makes sense.
Right. Always up for the guap. Hit me up and move, say stop. I need a round of applause, clap, clap. Switch up on your voice, you need a slap. I know what the route. Sorry, I not need a map. Always do this for the guap. Hit me up and move, say stop. I need a round of applause, clap, clap. Switch up on your voice, you need a slap.
I told you guys that first songs, but it's a vibe. I mean, I like, the rhyme in it. And it's doing well for you.
Yeah, it's doing well.
I see. So let's compare your song back, in those days to what you do now. Yeah. Do you see any difference?
Vast difference. Yeah, because along the line, you are doing more, learning more, spending more time in the studio. Developing on yourself. You are going to discover more about yourself. That's how it is. I believe.
You've been able to discover
a lot
more about you.
A lot.
So what genre of music do you do?
Most of the times it's Afrobeat and hip hop.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And what's the inspiration? Afrobeat, hip hop.
Yeah, it's more of where I grew up from. I tap into where I grew up from because there's more inspirations from there. That's Newtown, Nima, Mamobi, Alajo, those areas.
Yeah.
And North Kaneshi as well too. I have boys over there. Yeah.
I see.
It's been like that.
So how did you combine music with studies? Because I know you said you completed UPSA.
Yeah, that was last year.
A very serious school. Aside UCC, that school, they learn. I mean,
Yeah.
how are you combining studies with music?
I mean, it wasn't easy, but, with God, all things are possible. So we had to, blend in the two. I won't lie, it wasn't easy at all, but then we had to, figure out and then know what will be your next step. So I was like, no, I have to go to school as well.
Yeah.
It's not that you're making music, so you not further your education. So yeah. And it came out a success. Yeah.
But why are you not going to pursue what you studied in school? Why are you still pursuing music? And I wasn't music your side business.
Oh no, it's not my side business. I don't want to call it that.
Hey,
it's something
this
I
is your
want
main
to.
business.
Yeah, it's like my
Okay.
main business. Yeah.
What did you study in school, by the way?
I did marketing.
Marketing. I see. And marketing pays. I mean, there is money in marketing when you get into it. And looking at how you speak and how you'll be able to convince people to...
Very well.
So
Very well.
why are you not sticking to that? Why are you still pursuing music?
I think music is my first love. Like, I can't let go of it. And I realized it also has, an avenue that, it can make you better your life in terms of finances and whatever the case might be. And me being a marketer, I know how to promote my music as well, very well. Because I do everything on my own, with the help of friends as well.
Okay.
But like, I'm the main person that spearheads everything. Yeah.
How do you promote your music?
It's mostly by social media.
Social media.
And blogs as well too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your song that played, what's the title again?
It's called Kill the Heat.
Kill the Heat.
Yes.
What went into that?
So I was
Is
there
it
with
Kill the Heat or Kill the Hat? I saw
Kill the Heat.
Hate.
Yes.
Oh,
Kill
okay,
the
okay,
Heat.
okay.
Okay, so I was with my friends. That's shout outs to Pro Beats and Gazy Boy, Kofi Kendrick as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and King Gada as well. They are all from Ashawan Estates boys. So yeah, along the line I met them through music, and then we ended up we were together one time, and then that's at King Gada's house. We were together.
Yeah.
And then it came up that Pro Beats played a beat. He's also an artist as well. So I was like, nah, this is a vibe. Like, let's do something to it. I was like, oh, he already has a chorus. So he did it, and then they were just, playing around with the beats and ended up, bringing out that masterpiece. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to judge that song because I didn't really hear what you guys were saying in that song. But what was the key message in the song?
It's just spreading love.
Spreading love.
Spreading love.
And killing the hate.
Exactly.
So it was a collaboration.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And what was your part? Was it a chorus or you
No, my
rapped?
part was a verse. That was the
verse.
second verse, yeah.
Okay. Can you give us a line or two again? Because I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, that's fine. I can be clear, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's another day, another pressure. Monday work, so pressure. By the days with a measure. Kai and Bible with a gesture. Preaching peace, I'm a preacher. Preacher gangster, gangster preacher. Spreading love, of course. God loves a cheerful giver.
Hey. You have vibes, so.
Thank you.
So how do you handle, critics? I mean, we are looking at your journey in music, and you would definitely meet people who would not appreciate your song as you appreciate it. How do you handle such people?
I believe constructive criticism is also part of the work. You use that to build on yourself. But then you can see some and it just comes out as sheer hits. They don't like whatever you do. But then, all in all, you still have to push, Use that as a motivation to build on yourself. Because when you get to the top, there are the same people going to see and they'll be like, hey, this guy actually got there. Yeah, I believe so.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's like that.
So do you remember any time when someone said something hateful or, hurtful that almost changed your mind?
It didn't almost change my mind, but I was like, you definitely, get to hear of me. And then you'd be amazed that it is me.
Who was that?
So that's my big brother, Oscar. He has no, not him exactly.
Okay.
He has a cafe. So then when I was done with school, I was at home for a while. So I used to, work there and operate as a server. So one time I was playing my music and then one of the guys was like, which wax song be this? I was like, oh, Charlie, my song was like, oh, I make sorry about this one. The beat. That was in 2020. I had started fresh at that time too. So yeah, it kind of, like broke me, but I was like, oh, nah, I'm not going to let this bring me down. That was for the guap, actually, the one I freestyled to you. So, I mean, it's... Yeah. But others too say they like that song.
Oh,
others
you're
too say
really
they
dope.
like it.
I mean, your songs are very nice.
Thank you.
You're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's look at collaborations. Do you intend having collaborations with big artists?
Yes.
And who do you look up to?
Joey B, Darko Vibes, RJZ, Sarkodie. I'm a big Shatta Wale fan too.
Hey, yeah. Please, I'm a Stoneboy fan. If you want to be my friend, switch.
Yeah, I like Stoneboy as well. I like Stoneboy, but I'm a big Shatta fan.
I see. But why Joey B? Why Darko Vibes? These artists are, you don't really hear of them. Sometimes you hear of them.
Yeah, I mean, like, I started music, they were the people I usually listen to a lot. Because of their style. I really like their style. From way back in JHS, we used to, see them on TV and all of that. I was really intrigued seeing what they were always doing.
So having them on a track will not be bad.
It will be excellent. It will top the charts, I promise you.
Amen. God will bless that.
Yeah,
now
amen.
let's look at some of the challenges you've also faced as an artist, upcoming artist. Some of the hurdles, financially, emotionally, even family. Yeah. Let's be realistic about it.
Okay, if I'd say the financial aspect, music has a lot to do with, finance, a lot of money, booking studio sessions, paying bloggers, pitching your song for playlisting, doing all of that. It's not easy, but then you still have to, sacrifice and do that. Once you don't have a management or a label yet, you still, have to do that. Yeah. And then for, let me say educationally as well. I'll not say school held me back because school is, is important. Yeah, but it, had to put me on hold for a while. Because I wasn't really, more focused on the music side. Because if you want to give all focus to the music, you'd end up not doing well in school. So yeah, that's the fact.
Yeah.
And then with family, I'd say they 100% support my motive and what.
Yeah. You didn't encounter that family member that Yakochia school fees and you go and learn marketing. Joy.
Nah, they know I like school. They all know I like school, and I'm really keen on school. So them seeing me balancing the two, they find it amazing. So yeah, that's what I say. And I know they are proud of me as well. Yeah. Especially my mom. I know she's very proud of me. So.
I see. Yeah. So how do you fund your videos, promo? How do you fund? Do you have a management? Do you work under a label or something?
I don't have a management and a label yet. But then I have people that they want to, start something with me. That's Elevate Your Sound. Big shout out to Elevate Your Sound. They are from UK. We did an artist development program that was I think in August. Yeah. Okay. It spanned for about 2 weeks. So, they took us through the media works and then studio sessions, tickets and all of that. And it was super. Big shout outs to C Biggs, Amanda and Godwin. They're all from the UK, but they are Ghanaians actually too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So how did they discover you?
Via social media. So there was a challenge. It was open to emerging acts. And then a lot of people sent their works too, but then they finally had to, pick out a few number of people. And then I believe that I worked hard for that, and I'm proud of myself too. So, yeah.
So what's the way forward for Joey? How is the future looking like? In 5 years, three years to come, what are we expecting to see?
More music from me, more projects as well. And then you are going to hear a lot from me. I'm a man of few words pertaining to that. I like to give more actions when it gets to that.
Action man.
Yeah. So when it gets to that, expect more from me. Yeah.
So where can we stream your songs?
On all social media, all music platforms. Yeah. Sorry, Apple Music, Spotify, Audiomack, SoundCloud. Boomplay. It's Joey Orleans. That's Joey space Orleans. Yeah, and my social media too as well. Same as well. You get me there. Yes.
So for collaborations, for sponsorship, anything, how do we contact you? On social media?
Yes, via social media.
Oh, okay. Joey, your last words to our viewers and your fans.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. And then I hope to, have, come here and then, talk more about my career and any new droppings as well, I'd be hoping to, come here and then have that experience as well again. And then to my fans and to, I normally used to call people that like my music my family, Jiggy family. Like, the support is massive and I'm really appreciative. So more tunes coming from me, a December jam as well on the way. And then more music next year too.
Do you have some shows you'll be playing this December?
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully.
It's unfortunate we won't be able to play your Breeze song. Yeah. Can you give us a line or two so that we sign out? Okay,
that goes like, we outside, we enjoy the breeze. If you are but our drip go make you freeze. We the chill, every tension released. Me them magoons, where we know the gree. Give me the handshake, wagwan my G. The wave smart that they need a jet ski. With the tides, with the rave through the sea. I be you now, you believe.
I mean, I believe. Yes. Joy, you are deep, you are dope.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that people will get to know what you're doing. You would be recognized in the industry. You're doing so well.
Thank you very
Joy
much.
Orleans is an artist. I mean, did I get the second name right?
Yeah, you got it very well.
Okay. He's an artist and we are here to promote him. So please support him by streaming his songs on all platforms, music platforms, and let's support him as we can. That's what we have for you on today's lifestyle segment. Let's do some birthdays and then we'll have our sports update.
I heard today was your birthday.
Okay, so who is our first birthday celebrant? Okay, so this is from Joseph to still Jennifer. Happy birthday to an amazing, special, God-loving chorister and outstandingly world tour woman. More blessings of health, wealth, more world tours, and fulfillment. A happy birthday to you, dear. We also have this from James Cashman. Dad, you've always been my biggest cheerleader. I'm grateful for every story, every piece of advice, and every hug. Here's to another amazing year of making memories together. Happy birthday, Dad. James, is that you? Okay, so thank you so much for bringing in your birthday messages. Now, we'll be taking our sports updates, but before that, let me remind you that we will be having a conversation regarding today's budget reading, and so you'd have to stay with us because Clement Yabankwe will be giving us that discussion with his guests. Now, let's take our sports update. Economists and people from prominent places to come and talk to us about their expectations of the 2026 budget reading. And so you have to stay here with us on Clock TV, on Koko Digest Morning Show. Right after this, we'll have that discussion.
Good morning and welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. This is the business update segment and I am Clement Yaban Kwe. Today we are going to have a very topical discussion, a very interesting one. Monetary policy rate is around 21.5%. Inflation is around 8%. Is this really reflecting in the life of an ordinary Ghanaian? If not, what is happening? What is hijacking the reflection of all this positive happiness in the economy? Current exchange rate is around 10 Ghana cedis 90 pesos per dollar. And all these things are positive happiness. The question is, did the 2025 budget really reflected what the finance minister preached to us in Parliament some months ago, or it did not reflect? The big push, did it indeed push the economy, or it did not push the economy? Which sector in the 2025 budget was given higher funding? And which sector in 2026 budget are you anticipating to get the higher funding? Does it lead issues of unemployment, issues of job creation, issues where people are talking about electricity tariff are going high? Are we going to expect more taxes, or there's not going to be any issue about taxes? We'll be discussing the 2026 budget and the economic policy that is going to be presented in Parliament this afternoon. And I'd like to know your take. What do you expect to see in the budget? Should the COVID levy go, or should it still be there? Should the VAT reform be worked on, or should still be there? So these are the many issues we'll be discussing here on the Koko Digest Morning Show, especially the business update segment. And I'm not doing this alone. I have in studio Mr. Stephen Kwashi, a finance expert and a business consultant. We would equally be joined by the General Secretary of Food and Beverage Association of Ghana. And in the afternoon, before the presentation, we are going to have a very amazing discussion also there. So just stay glued to Clock TV, pick your phone, and just call us when the time is due. Text us a message. What do you want to see in the budget? Should the finance minister bring you money wherever you find yourself, or what at all do you want to see in the budget? Good morning, sir, and you are welcome.
Good morning, Clement.
You are looking so amazing.
Thank you very much. You know, we are still in the mood of celebration. Yeah, Mali School at 75. You know, we've actually shown the world that, you know, we are the pinnacle of excellence.
Pinnacle of excellence. Okay.
And we didn't just raise the bar of, you know, school anniversary celebration. What we did is that we broke the bar and we introduced the green and yellow bars.
Wow, that's so amazing. One thing I saw, I didn't want to go there by the quick. I saw a convoy and I was wondering, did you rent the car, or the cars are for the alumni?
Oh, the cars are fully owned by the alumni.
Okay.
And that is what shocked the world. And
that's what shocked the world. But lastly, the National Science and Maths quiz, what happened?
Oh, we did our best, and we will come back next year.
Okay, thank you.
Improve upon it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I would like us to go into the discussion.
Sure.
Budget statements and economic policy.
Okay.
Some months ago, we were here to have the same discussion on this very matter. In general, what do you say the economy is heading towards? Are we heading towards a positive direction, a negative, or a standstill?
Oh, it's you know, the facts are clear. We can all agree, you know, that the economy is moving in a positive direction. The stability of the economy and the recovery first,
okay,
and the stability that, you know, this new government promised. We are seeing that it is happening. You know, at a point we saw some spikes in the exchange rate, and people began to be worried that is it true that it's going to be stable? But we saw, you know, coming close to the end of the year that it is coming back to, you know, the band that they've set for it. So in general, we can agree that the economy has recovered, and we are actually moving on a path to actually improve the things that, you know, we are working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so in general, the economy is doing very well.
It's doing very well. I think if you look at the global expectations, okay, we are actually doing better than the global expectation. Yes, if you look at our GDP growth, the growth rate, we are doing better than the global expectation. So yeah, we can all agree. You know, the facts are clear. We can all agree that, you know, the economy on the macro level is moving in the right direction. We will actually talk about, you know, the details, the micro level, and the people within the economy, how they also feel about it. But on the macro, the indicators are showing positive, and we can just move in that tangent.
So this one is it A++ or B+++? so that's just by the way.
Yes.
Let's get into 2025 budget. Yeah. Do you think it was the budget that performed the magic?
You know, we were here last, the beginning of this year.
Exactly.
Yes, I made it clear that we don't expect too much, from that budget, okay? And the minister also signaled that this budget is just to recover and stabilize. So it means that we don't expect so much magic, but we didn't want the situation to go back to where we came from.
Okay.
So we are just on a stable path. Recovered and we are on a stable path. Nothing so new, okay? We are yet to enter into the phase where we, the Ghanaian citizens, will begin to expect. Let's say this first year is, let's say, our free range we give to the government that, do your work and recover as you promise. Now, when we enter into next year, we are going to make our demands on government. Okay. Next year is when we are going to expect the magic. This wouldn't come from the government that I will do A, B, C, D. Next year is going to come from the citizens that we expect this, and that. So this year is fine. They've done what they are supposed to do. It's not so much like a magic. They just stabilize the economy. And moving into next year, we will make our demands on government and we will expect them to also respond to it.
Thank you so much for that. So as he said, moving into next year, we are going to make our demand on government. That is why we are bringing this discussion. What demand do you want to make on government before the presentation of this very budget this afternoon? What are you expecting to see? Let's hear from you by sending us a message on the WhatsApp number displayed on the screen. And when the phone lines are open to, we will just let you know about that. Let's move to 2025 budget. There were key things the finance minister said. One, their target is to get inflation around 8% plus or minus 2. Were they able to achieve that target?
Yeah, they were able to achieve that. Inflation is currently at 8%. Bank of Ghana banned the interval they've given for inflation is 8 plus or minus 2.
Exactly.
So it can be between 6 and 10. And we are right in the middle of 8. So we've actually hit the target. I think the target they set was actually above the 8. Yeah. So we've actually gone beyond the target. So in general, you can see that the government is doing well. The finance minister who is in charge is doing well. Yes, but we'll come to the grounds.
You'll come to the
I told
grounds.
you I'm a groundsman.
Exactly.
We went to some few marketplaces ourselves, just like the minister has done. We also did our work.
We also did. Exactly. Clock TV equally did their work, and we also bring it to viewers. That's the work we did. Let's look at last year, or the early days, 2025, but they also talk about the fact that they're going to process underway to rationalize taxes at port. What was that really done? What will you say about that?
The ports. Okay, so around the tax, I think I'll leave it for one of our guests to touch on that. Yeah, because I don't know if they did it or they didn't do it. But about the VAT we spoke about last beginning of this year.
Exactly. Where
the government or the current government, they are saying that they are going to remove certain taxes. And I spoke to you about the BEC tax. We expected that the COVID tax will be removed, which will, relieve the people. The COVID tax is one of the taxes, when it is on board, it doesn't make sense now because COVID is long gone. Its benefits or things that they give to us is long gone. It being as part of our tax regime, it doesn't make so much sense. And, the government promised to take it out. Okay. My strong expectation was that it would be taken out. And if the COVID tax was not taken out, as at the last or mid-year budget reading, I feel the finance minister should come back to Ghanaians and actually, apologize and tell Ghanaians that, I said we're going to do some adjustment around, the VAT so that we take away the COVID levy. We're not able to do that. So, I apologize. Because I feel like as a country, we need to hold our leaders so accountable so that they feel like they are serving us. We are not serving them. The leaders are serving us. We need to hold them accountable when they are in power, not when they are out of power and out of the country before we begin to chase them for accountability. So the finance minister should set the tone for that. He needs to come clear. If the COVID tax is not removed, he needs to come and apologize to Ghanaians and promise us that in this coming budget, one of my expectations is that the COVID levy should be removed.
So one of the expectations that the COVID levy should be
Yes.
removed. So the COVID levy must go.
It must go.
That's the
if it's
call.
not gone, I think we need to gather our people so that we begin to.
So I
demand that.
think they're listening to us, and I think viewers would equally share the same thoughts with you. And yesterday, as we discussed, we were talking with people. That's what the same thing they were saying. Insight into the 2025 budget. They equally talked about the fact that they are going to announce measures to stabilize the city.
Yeah.
Has it been stabilized?
Yes, the city has been stabilized. The facts are clear.
Okay.
When you compare last year exchange rate to what we are last year November to this year November, you will see like a huge gap, and it is clear that they've done it. The management of it, that is where the question marks are on. But Bank of Ghana, they have the expertise, to manage the currency. The government, the president actually announced that he wants the CD to be within a certain range.
Yeah.
That personally is not something to say. It's something for the policy people to work it out, because we cannot. It's a free market. We cannot hold currencies within a certain interval.
Okay.
We cannot. It's a free market. But it is the interventions that the BOG, the governor, will do with his team that is going to result into that. We've seen clearly that the CD has been, stabilized. People who are doing their importation, they are benefiting from it. One key thing is that when the CD appreciates so much, Bank of Ghana, the governor spoke recently. He said the CD has appreciated against major currencies by 30%. Now, when the CD appreciates too much, okay, we are net importers. You get? We are net importers. So when the CD appreciates too much, okay, it makes our exportation more expensive. You get? Okay. So there are some pros and cons. So we just need to make it stable. It's not about the CD should come to 6 or the CD should come to 8. It should just be stable so that business people can do planning with the current exchange rate. And I think that is what is happening currently. Yeah. People can plan with it. Recently, I did a transaction. The rates that I got, from, the payments agency, I wouldn't mention the name, was around 10.3, 10.4. Yeah. That was the exchange rate I got.
Exactly. So currently, the exchange rate is one United States dollar is equal to 10 Ghana cedi 94 pesos. Okay. 10 Ghana cedi 94 pesos.
Is this the BOG rate or the real market?
There's a real market, actually. That's what's happening. Okay. Before we continue the discussion, yesterday we had a discussion with a lot of people out there. Wanted to know their thoughts about the 2025 budget, if it really did what the finance minister was talking about. So I'd like to take that video of a businessman who actually said what he need or what he wanted.
To be frank, this year budget, man should follow through. Man should come, but the evidence is in the market. The stability of the currency, businesses are able to plan. Businessmen, they pay stability. And it is a 10 cities depending himself for the next 1 year, no bet me up planning. Say 15 cities or himself or adjusting on planning. But where it fluctuates, like July, August, September, if you are fine, it will come by August. However, we do not dollar follow or the dollar boarding now to take another 2 months for the goods to come. Obiso could just when Nipane koi or the cheaper money and to compete in becomes difficult. So what businessmen want when it comes to the currency regimes is stability. So that you bet me a plan, you bet me adjusting yama. Yeah, person yaman back to the lowest minimum among consumers. Because when the things are moderate, men catch you. When the prices are moderate, you're always going to come to us. You are able to have windfall of money where you're going to always come to us. We don't want it to go so high. So the stability of the currency, we pray it still maintains, it remains the same. And I think the Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance have done well so far when it comes to
Thank you so much. So that is what a businessman said.
Yeah.
Mr. Benson Kwesi Appiah.
Wow.
That's what he said.
Yeah,
What do you think?
It's in line. It's
in
like
line.
he's not interested in the amount. Like its CD is 8 cedis to the dollar or 10 cedis. Like he rightly said, he just wants the CD to be stable, so that they can plan with it. And that is what every businessman is looking for.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's look at some key allocation 2025 budget before we zoom into 2026 budget. In 2025, there was an amount of 300 million Ghana cedis that was allocated to National Apprenticeship Program. There was an amount of 1 million Ghana cedis allocated to a Jumera program. There was an amount of 51.3 million Ghana cedis allocated to Women's Development Bank. These allocations, have we seen its being implemented, its manifestation in our economy as we speak?
Okay, so from where I sit, I have not seen the clear reflection of the Jumera.
Okay.
You know, it has a very big allocation, and the national apprenticeship, it has a very big allocation. For me, I always say, the way we publicize the policies, when the policies are being implemented, it needs to be showcased. There should be a lot of publicity towards the implementation of it. So from where I sit, I've been monitoring, the agencies, the employment agencies, the youth agency. I just see one or two things, but it doesn't match the quantum of money that has been allocated to these programs. And something that we're discussing this morning that made me sad is when we see a lot of our people, you can still feel that youth unemployment is high. And it's reflected in the military recruitment. It is not just in Accra. You need to watch the whole stadium, the number of people that gathered there. You need to watch the Kumasi side, the number of people that gathered there. It shows that a lot of people are still in the house and they do not have work to do. They do not have a means, to make a living. So when these programs are being done, the effect is not so strong. It's not so strong, but when it is being spoken at the policy level, it looks as if it's going to change, it's going to create a great change. It's a good policy. When it is being implemented, it should be showcased so that people who have not heard of it, I can also tell my brother, I can also tell my sister that, okay, they are doing this apprenticeship here. It needs to be showcased just the way the policy was showcased. But on the normal, I've not seen much around the Ejumera and the apprenticeship program. I know I've seen the coders, they are doing certain things, but it needs to be showcased so that people can participate and so that we don't have situations where the youth will gather at a place and it will create a lot of issues like we had. I don't even want to remember because the people who passed away, 5 females, I don't want to even remember that. It's a very sorry situation. Yeah.
Now, let's go into the 2026 budget discussion itself. The expectation, which areas need to be considered, which areas need to be looked at. But before we move into 2026 budget discussion, as at last year, before the budget reading, the finance minister was at Makola to engage traders. This time around, he did the same thing, but he did it in Western region, Takrady to be specific. So I want to get that video of the finance minister having a chat with the market woman to find out what really they also need in the budget. Let's take a look at that.
60, 55 any bito. And what kwaya do 1,000. Sisi angwa 5.8. Esi chabu fuma 5.8. Nyama abu fumoye. Oye fe kaka. Oye fe. Mwaba no yenu aso papa. Mwoye no efe. Even for free SHS ya webo sompo wengu numpo. Ono so ya huwa me. Sisi eko university first year numpo oye free. No so ya huwa me. Nti wa eduba do wa edu. Ya bese. Wanyama omo se na mo family. Na ne ese.
The young papa ni ebi ayo yet na yesra nyame no ma na honde no ntumi nyamo nso ne dam na mom ska no mbrapom ska no na mbrapom na bribi anya oh ye ni se dollar ya Stefano odu baby no dem ka ye chesi na ye nsankan sisa nyame na adom ye papa be no ye nka no do mela no di on san so mom brapom kasa na eja ayo so ye tintini ye nyedan ye ntum ntono ye nye bi hwa ye nyame nshira wo.
Thank you very much. And I'm not going to have a form kakra.
This one ended.
So that's the finance minister who was engaging the market women, the market men, that's around the market circle, around that enclave. He did this early this part in Makola, and he has done the same thing in Takoradi. What will you say about this initiative of the finance minister? Is it a good one? Is it the one that all ministers need to emulate?
Yes, 100% is a good initiative because as a leader, you need to first connect with the heart before you engage the head.
First connect with
the heart before you engage the head.
Okay.
And that is the clear example the finance minister has demonstrated. And, you know, I always say this, the leaders should be showcasing what they are doing.
Okay.
You know, sometimes we go to these market women when it's time for votes, but when it comes to their views, we don't take it.
Sure.
But he's showing us that I'll come to you for your votes. If I get the power, I'll still come to you for your views so that we can actually build the country together. So it is a clear example that all state institutions, whether you're a manager, you should touch the grounds and, you know, engage with the people. They will give you the ideas to, you know, pull your ministry up.
Thank you so much. We should touch the grounds and engage the people. On that notice, Clock TV touched the ground yesterday.
Wow.
Let's take videos of what businessmen also said on the expectation of the 2026 budget.
Dollar is down. They've increased the spare parts. They've not reduced the prices. Engine oil, spare parts, when you go to Abosoka, things are more expensive. So we expect them to do something about it. What the government promises as 24-hour economy, but yet still we are not seeing any improvement of 24-hour economy. So we need job. It's when you go around right now, the youth are, taking so much of drugs because they don't have any job to do. Yeah, so we need job. Yeah, we need job, especially job. Yeah, and the road too. And the president said those big trucks, they should, reduce their weight and things. So we expect him to also do something about it. Because when COVID came, we had a lot of money have been spent, but we don't know the kind of things that you use the money for. Yeah, so we expect it to grow. Most of the times, the taxes that the government gets, that's the only point that they can get it from. So the 1 city levy, to me, it's not bad. So I want to tell the government that the major key for we the youth is a job. Yeah, we need job. At least when there is job, I don't think those kind of those drugs, the youth will go on, and go and do it. Yeah, because yellow is the case, you are going to work. You can't go and take those drugs and go to work. So the major key is, the work. So we need jobs. Okay, what we are expecting is, you see, the dollar is down. They've increased the spare parts. They've not reduced the price.
To me, what I will be expecting them to include into the budget is, so far, we the youth of Ghanaians, for now, we are struggling. Things are not all that okay as we expected. So to me, my idea is that they should, because they were in NDC were saying that there will be a 24-hour economy for the youth of Ghanaians. But so far as they came into power, we are not seeing any changes in that. And we don't know how they think to make Ghanaians to also feel okay. Because so far, a lot of us have an intention to start any business of our own. And then we don't know if the government will also come with an intervention to also make sure that as a youth of Ghanaians, we also get something doing. Because most of us, we start our own, we can't be able to fix it by ourselves. So we are thinking that maybe they will also think of putting enough cash into the system so that we'll see how we can be able to also do something as a Ghanaian citizen. We can't complain because as compared to previous years, it seems they are doing something good in it. To me, what I will be expecting them to include into the budget is, so far, we the youth of Ghanaians, for now, we are struggling. Things are not all that okay as we expected. So to me, my idea is that they should, because they were in NDC were saying that there will be a 24-hour economy for the youth of Ghanaians. But so far as they came into power, we are not seeing any changes in that. And we don't know how they think to make Ghanaians.
General expectation the echo round from Monday, from industry players, say the VAT rate will have to be realigned. So they be easy for competition businesses because there are so many different regimes. Competition is difficult. And then, like he promised, the COVID levy, if it's taken off, it's going to also help because I believe the impact of COVID, we've really paid for it over the years. And, I know to make offer, I think you're showing him budget, a bit for businesses and then all other sectors. But so far, everybody will be there dance, even the opposition party there dances. The government has done well so far, so good. But let's hope for the best from this budget.
To me,
so these were some businessmen, the Ghanaian youths. You could hear some of them talking about job creation. People are talking about the 24-hour economy. And people are talking about, we expect more from the government in the 2026 budget. So viewers, we have in studio Mr. Samuel Ato-Agri, the General Secretary for Food and Beverage Association of Ghana. Good morning, sir. You're welcome.
To your listeners as well.
We are discussing the 2026 budget, but first we're looking at 2025 budget and its performance. We'd like to take your statement or your thoughts on that. Did it really reflect?
Let me say, so far so good. Because the most important thing was to get the city stabilized. But unfortunately, it took us by surprise. If you look at the time that it started appreciating, we expected that maybe it would take some 6 months to get there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, within 2 weeks, we see the city falling from 16.5 up to 10.8, even to 10.5. Then in the mid-year, around August, September, it started appreciating or depreciating to about 14 cities. But then it came back to its normal position. So this is one of the factors within the 2025 budget by stabilizing the city.
Yeah.
Because once you do that, the economy will be, as it were, the word of the president, it will be reset by making sure that people will have money to do whatever they have to do. So if you look at the cost of fuel, And then cost of other things that has come down. You save a lot of money in buying fuel. You've also saved a lot of money by doing your imports. So along the line, we expected that it will reflect on the ground, the way we do our purchases, the things that we sell. But unfortunately, we didn't see that much. But I will tell you that in the food sector, especially the imported ones, we could see some reflection of reduction. If not much, at least some reductions were done. So we expected the other sectors to also come along whilst these things are happening. So once we do that, it will also trigger. But one thing that the government didn't do was to touch on the imports duties and other levies that we've been complaining about, and also utilities for the industrial sector. So we saw, or we've seen that this area has still remained where it is in terms of our cost of imports that we used to. Because if the city has appreciated, the only thing that will make goods and services go down immediately is when you touch the benchmark value that is imposed at the port. And they remove certain barriers, like the presidential special tax, which we don't know when is going to be taken off, because the previous NDC administration, they said we needed money, we need to impose this to make sure that we take it, and then within a short time, it will be taken off. Unfortunately, when the previous governments also came, they maintained it for the whole of 8 years, and then NDC has come back. So we expect that some of these things will be taken off, and especially the nuisance taxes, that's how we're saying, also will be taken off. And one thing that the finance minister said by then was how our tax system is being calculated. So you realize that when you buy something, instead of paying 1 cedi, you end up paying about 1.8. So it means that the multiplicity of calculation, you see, what we call the cascading effect. So this didn't also help, and it has not helped over the years. And the Food and Beverage Association, this has been one of our mantra, that our tax system is not calculated in a way that's supposed to be. And yes, being overtaxed. So I'm happy that to this minister to appreciate the fact that yes, the cost of taxes are calculated in a way that is hurting businesses. So therefore, they need to look at it, rationalize it, so that we can have a uniform tax payment. Because you can not have a system where the same tax that they said is 17.5, others are paying 21%, others are paying less than that, others are paying above the 21%. So if it's 17.5, then the meaning should be
17.5.
And then we look at the consumption tax that they bring about. That is the 15%. So I am sure that that area, something can be done about it. So once they do that, of course, it will reflect in the coming budget as we discussed. So for them, and so far with the 2025 budget, that's what I can say. And the year has not ended. We've seen inflation gone down to single digits of rate. And we expect it to go down. But the most important thing is reflecting in the people's buckets. Because once you know that inflation has gone down, you expect certain things also to come down. And the cost of borrowing, as we see it, it has also come down. And we want to see further reduction in the percentage point, so that at least businesses can borrow, local people can borrow to do what they have to do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ato Agre, for your submission. I think he has made mention of a lot of issues concerning taxation, of which we'll be looking at it critically in the afternoon discussion as well. But before I get into it again, I would like to take your Mr. Kwashi, what's your general expectation to 2026 budget? We heard from viewers, we heard from ordinary Ghanaian. What are your expectations in this 2026 budget presentation today?
So my expectation is like what one of the first guys spoke about. Jobs, jobs, jobs. That's my expectation.
So how should the job be handled in the budget? In what way?
Okay, so we want to see it, the government is trying to use agriculture as a way to, create a lot of jobs. And when the minister went to Takrady, he went to this company, Benso oil palm, production, the company. He went there and they are trying to strike a deal, okay, where they will create unemployment for about 50,000 or I think 500,000, Ghanaians. That is within the agriculture sector.
Okay.
I am in the agriculture sector. I know the effect of fuel reduction, okay, on my irrigation system.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the effect. And when the government wants to target agriculture, he needs to look at the storage and the processing. Because I went to this market, the onion market at when you are going to the Winneba Road. It's called the Domnasi Onion Market. I went there myself. When you see rotten onions, you will cry. You cry for the buyer and you cry for the farmer himself. A lot of people monies are going waste. When you even look at onion in specific, okay, Ghana, we import more than 70% of the onions we consume here. More than 70%. And if you have a situation where the little you produce gets rotten in your own country, then that's a big problem. So as much as we are pushing for, agricultural production and want to use it as a medium to create more jobs, the government needs to look at the storage facilities. We need to look at the processing facilities. What we need as business people is the support, the environment, because we are ready to take it on. We are ready to build, the setups. Because at my farm, we've piloted onion preservation. So far, we are in the 3rd month, and the onion is still looking good. I went to the market to see for myself the complaints, because at a point, we're not getting the buyers to come to our farm. So I was asked, what's the problem? Then I went to Domnasi Market, and I went to see the situation for myself. The onions are there. The one that they are bringing is rotten. The one that is already sitting on the tray is getting rotten.
That's the local one.
Yeah, the local one. So I'm looking at the whole situation that the government should focus on jobs. Agriculture is one of the key, places. We are looking at the construction sector is also another key place. Those are the things that the government should, put together to, create the jobs. As for the service sector, you wouldn't have a lot of, like people are going to police service, people are going to security, service. Those are service. And the multiplier effect in the economy is low because it's not production based, it's service. Okay, but we want the production base. The manufacturing sector should be working. The oil. The funny thing is that Ghana, if you compare Ghana and Malaysia with oil palm, the Malaysia where they came to Ghana to pick our palm trees. They first took it as an ornamental plant for decoration. They didn't take it for production. But when they watched the tree and they saw the economic benefit from it, then they industrialized it. They commercialized it and they brought a lot of mechanization. And here today, Malaysia, close to this year, they will be producing about 200 million tons of crude palm oil. And Ghana, we are doing below, I think, 500,000 tons. This is the country that came to learn from us. And they saw the value of it and they are making it big. And we, at the other end, we just continue with our local production skills, smoking, those things are what is not helping us. So when we want to be serious about agriculture, let the government bring the support. Let's mechanize it. Let's bring the storage facilities and let's do the processing. The private sectors are ready to take it on. The government should give us the push and we'll take it on.
Thank you so much for that. Mr. Swagri, he said the private sector, they are ready. Is this really true?
You see, let me take it from the background of the 24-hour economy. What is the main background of that 24? Is the agro-processing. If you talk of agro-processing, it boils down to agriculture. Now, the agri sector in this country, I would say, is not the best. Though we see farmers growing certain products, they bring it on the market. You think that there's glut, and therefore we need to do something immediately. No. Because even when you take those gluts, you want to put it into processing, you realize that you are not having the best of product that you need to use into the agri sector. So what we need to do is to have a deliberate attempt to ensure that people are growing what will feed industry. Because whatever feed the industry is consumable. So we can also sell it on the market, and then the rest of it, a chunk of it, will go into agro-processing. When we do that, it means that we are putting something before the table for everybody to come into that space. Okay. I will take something like, as he said, the storage facility. I've said time and time again that Ghana, we want to revamp our rice sector because that is what is eating most of our foreign exchange. So how do we do that? We should encourage the farmers to grow rice. Right. But as they grow the rice, when they finish, where do you put them? Okay. We need to have silos, not storerooms or warehouses. You need silos to put the paddy rice in there, because milled rice, you cannot put them in silos.
Yeah.
But milled rice, that is what you put in a warehouse. But the paddy rice, which goes into processing, will have to go into silos. Now, when the silos are there, they control the humidity over the year so that the millers can have access and then put it into milling and then release it into the market. So the warehouses can then take up. But unfortunately, what we are seeing is that the silos are not there. Farmers put the rice production from the farms. It ends up in the warehouses or their own storage facility where they cannot control the humidity of those rice, and therefore they go dry. Dry rice, paddy rice, you need to put it into parboiled rice. Before you get the rice itself, you need to boil it to make it softer so that you can dehusk it, and then you get the rice. The kind of rice that you get is not jasmine rice. It could be jasmine, the fragrance could be jasmine, but the quality of the rice will be parboiled. In Ghana, we don't eat much parboiled, though it's very healthy. We don't eat that much. Normally, people come across the borders and they buy them outside. But the problem too is that aggregators, when they go to buy the rice from the farmers, the farmer thinks I'm not getting the right price for my produce. Because they are looking at the calculations, the money that the cost of borrowing that has gone into it, the labor and all that. So if an aggregator comes and wants to buy the rice at a certain price, it becomes a problem for them. So therefore, I'll keep the rice for a better buyer. But before the better buyer comes, the rice is gone the way they don't want it. So you leave the rice for government. We say we should treat cocoa, rice, as the way we treat cocoa.
Okay.
Let the private sector give them an incentive to enter into the silos, install the silos without paying any taxes, because it's benefit to the country. You see, so rather, once you do that, you rather pay them for even installing the silos because of the way they are going to preserve the food for us. Because if we're able to do that within 3 years, what it means is that we'll have enough rice, over 2 million paddy rice, that will be stored in these silos or the barns. Then you look at that one and benchmark it against your imports, what is coming in. And you can reduce the import per the volume of tons that you have. So if I have 2 million tons of rice, when I mill it, possibly I may get around 1.2 million tons. Okay. And the 1.2 million tons, you can reduce your imports by maybe 800,000 tons. So when you do that, you have created a gap for the local market to take over. We did this, I think 2022 or 2020, thereabout, with the Ministry of Agri.
Okay.
What do we do? We said anybody who imports rice, what you need to do is to let the person come in and purchase the local rice at least 10% of your import. So if I declare my documents that I want to bring in 100,000 metric tons of rice, then of course you need to go to the farmer and buy 20% of that, meaning that your 100,000 metric tons that you are bringing in has been reduced to 80,000.
Yeah, right.
So you substitute the 20,000 with the local one. By this way, the importers, they are marketers. They know how to market the rice. So it's not the business of the farmer to market rice. Once you put these two together, or even you want to be a farmer, an aggregator, and a marketer, you have a problem. You cannot, because somebody ought to do those job for you. So yours is to produce. Once you are producing, government takes over. Give it to the commodity people. They know how to market their rice to the farmers, to the importer. You understand? When we did this, I can tell you for a fact that the succession or the effect that it had on the country was that within 3 months, we didn't have local rice to buy. You see? Because now when they go to the farmers, the farm gate, there's no rice. As gators will go, there's no rice. So therefore, then they have to wait for the next 3 months when the rice will be ready. Nobody have time for that. That is why we need the silos in place, so that they can release the rice every month, every day, once you know them. So once we do that, it means that there's something that you can rely on. When that production goes up, your import of 80% now will come to 70, 60, 50, 40, 20, until such a time that we realize that fine. If we allow 20% of imported rice into the system, it's nothing to write home about. People can then afford to buy that. So fortunately, when we didn't have the rice, people, when the COVID came, the ministry called on us. Let your people find the rice anywhere they can find it. Because we realized that food across the country, across the world, was becoming a problem because everybody wants to secure what they have. So therefore, if you have to get rice to buy, you look at what is already on sale by the merchants. So when they put them on the ships, they transact business on the sea. Whoever buys it, they move into that port and offload them. But you see what the politician can do. Sometimes it's very difficult when you don't have a clear-cut policy. People then take advantage. I can see the minister, give them money. I can bring the rice anyhow I want. You understand? So the ripple effect of that 2020, where people were given that option to bring the rice the way they have to bring it, people then brought in the rice anyhow. And it has continued to now. So if there's anything that we need to do, we quickly have to go back to the table and then look at how can we save. It's not by banning imported rice. It's not possible. You understand? We can ban certain category of rice coming in. The basmati rice, for instance, we don't do it in this country. Black rice, we don't do much. The brown rice, we don't do much. But if you want to bring in this rice, yes, we can allow that. But in what volumes? That one too can be controlled based on what's availability of the market. So we can control that one. And then percentage of the large import, which is the jasmine rice and the broken rice that people normally bring in, can also be reduced. So the effect that we have now, where people say that, or some of the farmers are saying, they have a lot of rice and nobody is buying. It's not their fault, but it's a system that has allowed it. You see, we can remedy it within a short time once the proper steps is taken. So it's there. We can do it. We look at the onion aspect that he spoke about. We want to grow onion to stop bringing in the imports, but are we applying the right technology? Sometimes the soil does not allow certain onion to produce. You will see that it's onion. But then once you harvest them, sometimes it will take you 2 weeks or 3 weeks to start going bad. But what technology can we deploy to make sure that the onion that we are growing will be the same as the imported one, because that's what we want to stop.
Yeah.
So if the imported one can stay on the shelf for almost about 3 months, why can't the local one stay on there? Because the soil itself allows the onion to be high retention of water. You understand? So within a short time, they go bad. Because when you go to Togo, for instance, along the beaches, they grow a lot of onion going down to Benin. You see the farmers growing onion. That onion, the soil that they grow that onion does not contain a lot of
water.
No water, clay.
Okay.
You see, so it's okay to do the growing of that onion over there. And when they grow it, they put it on the shelf, keep it in the barns for a very long time, waiting the next season before they can. And the good thing about it is that they have irrigation systems going on every now and then. So once they harvest, they are ready to go for the next production.
Okay.
You understand? So they don't wait for the rain to come in before. But in our country, we base our farming systems on the rain-fed. So if you don't have the system where you live by the riverside to use your pumps to do what you have to do, then you're at the mercy of the rain. And this is not good.
Thank you so much for that. That's a very brilliant submission. And I would say this is 2-in-1 economic policy that the finance minister need to take a critical look at, because about some weeks ago we heard farmers in the northern part complain of excess maize production and rice and all these issues. So I think going back to the drawing board, as you said, is the way to go. And that is one of the areas we expect to see in the budget. I'm reading this very afternoon, especially in the agri sector. These are the policies we expect to see. Mr. Kwashi, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, a quick reaction to what my father said. You know, when we gain independence, we actually introduced silos. Kwame Nkrumah did introduce silos. But when he was overthrown, all those silos projects were abandoned. So when you go to Volta region, they are there. There are a lot of regions that you go, you see the silos still standing. Heavy concrete. I saw it myself. I was wondering, what is this building for? And before somebody told me that there are silos. Maybe we can have time. We will go around and check the silos we have that have been abandoned since when it was built.
Overthrow of the president. Yeah.
When 1966, yes, it has been abandoned up to now, and they are still standing strong. So we had it as part of our plan, but maybe lack of vision, we abandoned it and we never went back to the drawing board, like he said, and it's causing all this problem. So one thing that he mentioned, inflation. If you look at the top 20 pushers of inflation, 70% are all food related. Only 30% is non-food. It shows that when we actually concentrate on agri, the multiplier effect, is going to help us in job creation and actually the food security that the country needs. Because when things become tough, nobody's going to give us food. We need to feed ourselves, to survive in this country.
Thank you so much for that. I think we've had a discussion on the agri sector. Let's move to a different sector, especially the private sector. What are they expecting to see? You made mention of some of the taxes being taken off, and I think that is one of the call from the Food and Beverage Association of Ghana. And they're also calling for incentive package for some of the private sectors, individuals. So I want to know, what should the private sector expect in the 2026 budget?
Okay, before I go there, let me quickly add something on the agri-care.
Okay.
You see, the Koko Nkiti project that is coming on, it's meant to make more people more independent, at least to have some business doing. But you see, it's not just by giving the chicks and then we relax. Maybe certain feed will also be given to them. But the cost of feed is the problem. That is what is killing our poultry industry. So if we are not able to address that quickly, even before the chicks are distributed, they are going to face a lot of problems. Now that the farmers are saying that we have the maize, no one is buying, government ought to take over and buy them. They released the 100 million earlier for them to buy. And I said it was woefully inadequate. You understand? 100 million could not buy anything. They released another 100 million.
Sure.
Yes, still it's only it's not adequate what we need is around 500 million Ghana cedis to mop up all these things, the rice and the maize that they are talking about. I'm sure by now we have also some granules also doing the same. So it takes money to mop up those ones. And then when they do it, they should bring in the poultry farmers, the millers, those who are doing the feed, for them to be able to produce at a cheaper cost. But now, every day when you go out there, even though you say the city has come down, certain things that has not been done, it makes them still apply the cost of multiplying effect. Prices are going up instead of coming down. So they need to touch base with the poultry industry to ensure that at least those who are doing it, even no matter how small money they have, they can afford the feed to feed the chicks. So that in the next 3 months, by April, we can see the effect of the Koko Nkiti coming in. And then the storage facility should also be ready once they get to that prime peak season. Then those who cannot sell, because if there are many, we have so much chick in the system, what is going to happen is that you go out there and bargain. You understand? You negotiate for a chick that is selling for, because you cannot sell it the way it is. The chicks will die. Okay, you take it at a lower cost against the cost of production. You understand? So that is where you need the cold rooms to store them and then release them onto the market. Then you start the next project. When we are able to do this, by the next December, no chicken will be imported.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes,
so
thank you. A very quick one to the issue of the maize, excess maize. Yesterday at the launch of Koko Nkiti at Kumasi, the president said he has ordered the finance minister to release an additional 200 million Ghana cedis for the National Food Buffer Stock Company to purchase the excess maize.
So that's good news. But still, we need more.
Okay.
Yeah, they need a lot, because we need to mop up what is ready, you see, and then they can move on. But let's come back to the industry.
The private sector.
What we need, what has been the call all these years, because in the previous administration, and I say it on the authority, the kind of policies that they introduced really killed businesses. People lost their money. They were not able to reinvest whatever. Some also will have to relocate, especially the industrial sector, because the business is there. You don't know the way forward. You need to set up an alternate facility in an environment that is more conducive. So people were moving their facility to Burkina, to Cote d'Ivoire, just to make sure that they can produce and send them in. You understand? Because the utility there is cheaper. It's cheaper, but what makes it cheaper? And surprisingly, Ghana gives them a lot of power. But yesterday, when they produce, it's cheaper than what we are producing in this country. You understand? So it allows people to bring in products to come and compete with our local industries. So we said we need to look at that. But instead of reducing some of the taxes for them because of the high cost of utility, they rather increase the taxes. Utility is also going. How do you expect someone who is doing manufacturing to break even? It's impossible. You understand? We seem or will pretend to be producing and making the money, because I cannot produce to make losses. Definitely, I need to make my money. And once I'm making the money, irrespective of the taxes that will come, because for government, when they introduce a new tax, they say pass it on. Pass it on to who? It's the consumer, you and I, who are paying for. And you look at the meager salary that is coming, and all the time things are going up, and the salary is not going up. So it becomes a very heavy toll on the manufacturer. But because we also want to safeguard our business and make money, we will put it there. You understand? So when you get to a point where you cannot, then it means that you need to deviate from that market and then look for a better environment where you can operate. But government business is not to employ. It's to create the enabling environment for people to invest and then employ the people to do what they have to do. So your government can then sit back and look at the essential things that we need to. So if you raise taxes above the board, It becomes very difficult, and that is what the previous administration did, even doing so and touching the money of pensioners, taking their money because the country. I don't see which country does this, introducing COVID tax as a punishment of COVID coming into the country or what. All these things were done. But when you look at this administration, they've introduced policy because the effect of the policy that you introduce, it could be either positive or negative. If it's not well managed. So whatever policy that you bring in, you need to look at the fiscal discipline on that policy so that it can really generate the intent that you brought that policy. So for us, within that space, we are saying reduce some of the taxes for industry, bring down the utility costs as they have it now, so that at least we'll know it will go up, but as it's going, industry should have something that they can rely on. It's not that every day when you start your machine to produce, you see the electricity, then what it means is that I have to come down the production, cut down the number of tons that I have to make for the day because you want to save money. Of course, the cost of utility is also eating you up. That's why the 24-hour economy is saying that, look, if you produce within certain hours, we'll give you. But that one, I don't think is a good policy in the sense that if I will produce at 2 a.m. to 4 p.m., at 4 a.m., for me to get the kind of incentive that I want. During the day, there will be no production. So I'll wait for that time and then bring my people in within that hour to produce between the 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. so that I can benefit from the cost. But most importantly, if you don't benchmark it well, what it means is that people will then produce all right, but the cost of their produce will not come down. So we need to do a lot of calculations, a lot of things that will really make this work, so that people will not take advantage because you are getting certain benefits, certain incentives in terms of taxes and all that. But we need to benchmark that so that whatever you are producing within that space will be enough for you to increase your production, employ more people within that space, and then your product too shouldn't be skyrocketing. It will be less expensive in terms of the way we want to see it. So it's a mix. The imported area, the most important thing that we need to, because Ghana, we are above the sub-region if it comes to duties. Others are implementing 10%, others are implementing 25%. But Ghana, we are way beyond. It depends on what you are importing. You could pay as much as 65% of the cost of goods that you bring in. So, if possible, the benchmark should be taken off. If it will not be reduced, it should be taken off.
It should be taken off.
Because it's an area where, for me, I see it as an illegal entity. Because if you look at all the conventions, toll is there. But then you use that one to benchmark things that you think they shouldn't come in. Because of your local industry. You understand? And that one too, you need to be circumspect about how you implement such a policy. But for us, everything that comes in, the benchmark comes in at 100%. And that 100%, just imagine what it means is that government is buying whatever you import at 10,000 cedis, we sell it to you at 20,000, and then impose the duties on it. This is unfair.
This is unfair
trade. So that is the area that we are looking at where government should.
Thank you very much indeed. That is unfair. That is from Mr. Samuel Ato Agwe. KPMG did some kind of findings. They came out with their report. And 5 things that they talked about that Ghanaians are expecting to see in the 2026 budget are: one is affordable and long-term financing access. Do you agree to that call?
Yes, I agree with that call because that is what is going to push the private sector and push industry because we are seeing a decline in the monetary policy rate. We also want to see same from the banks when they are giving their loans to the private sector. We want to see that, and it should be flexible. It should be flexible for the private sector, especially the youth. That would be encouraging for the youth to do. So we want to see the decline in the lending rates to the private sector, and it should be longer, like they are saying. Those are the things we are looking for, so that we don't say that monetary policy has fallen, but when we go to the banks to seek loans, we are not getting. It's not as if the loan rate is not reduced; it's reducing, but it's about, will you be able to get it, and for how long will you get it, so that you use it for your business. So it is a key thing that we want to look at, and the finance minister should touch on that, so that we see the progress we can make.
Okay, Mr. Atogre, we made mention of energy. Yeah. KPMG also is saying that reliable and affordable energy and infrastructure is another thing that everybody is calling for in 2026 budget.
Yes, it's very, very important. We need to look at that. Recently, we are making the call to overhaul ECG. Why were we doing that? Because ECG is a very important sector.
Okay.
And for me, when they tell me they are not making profits, I beg to differ. Because you cannot have almost about 40% or 60% of your money within the consumer space, and then you come every day asking for an increment of electricity. When you go for that 60%, I'm telling you, ECG will not ask for an increment because they will have enough money to run.
Okay.
As it is now, anytime they go to PRC, they give them an increment. Anytime they go, they give. That's why they are not seeing the effect. But if PRC will benchmark them and then tell them to go and do the right thing and come back, at least for us, it will be good when we see the thing running more efficiently. And they're asking you to pay more.
Yeah.
The paying more doesn't mean that we should have a skyrocketing prices that we cannot pay.
Okay.
Because now every home does some basic production in terms of agro-processing. Every home that you can find, they do have some sort of. So if you are doing this and your cost of energy is very high, then people will then start finding ways and means as to how they can get cheaper energy. But how that they are not installing
solar
panels, but then they are expecting that their costs will go down. But when you run it efficiently, obviously what will happen is that industry will have a field day. Because in this era that we are talking about group processing and manufacturing, of course, energy is the key area that we are looking at.
Is the key area to look at in this era. This last thing, they also talked about skill development and support for SMEs and local industries. Mr. Question.
Yeah, I think
that is what Ghanaians expect in 2026 budget.
Yes, and I think the government is actually working on that with the programs like the apprenticeship program, the coding program, because we've got to a point that people have seen that skills like the hard skills is very important. And for me, I always say that the kind of education system we inherited from our colonial masters is one that is just theory-based. It's supposed to support the colonial rule. It was not supposed to support production and manufacturing. But when we took so long a time to adjust before we begin to start the conversation around TVET and stuff, that is why we have a lot of people, when they come out of school, they are looking for jobs rather than to create jobs. Not to say that jobs are bad, but to expand your economy, you need a lot of entrepreneurs, business people to step on that stage. So this skills development is a big thing, and if the demand is high, it means government should begin to look at the institutions that they need to open. Maybe previously people don't want to go to technical schools, home economics and all that, but now this is what is going to help the economy. I went to my school recently. I never knew they had a dressmaking department. I was thinking that it was just food and nutrition. I went there, I saw a young guy who was actually sewing a complete dress. And I asked him that, did he buy it and he's doing adjustments on it? He said no, he did it. And I asked him that, did you know how to sew before coming to school, he said no. But he came to learn everything in school. You know, this when they come out, they will not come and burden the government.
Sure.
They will be able to do something on their own.
Okay.
So it's a good point. And
It's a good point. Noted. For the sake of our time, I think they also talk about the 24-hour economy, of which we've actually touched on it. They talk about the tax and regulatory reform, of which you've equally touched on them. There are some few comments I just want to read them so we get just 2 minutes left more. This is Kwame from Abosokan. He said, we need policies which will help us deal with the issue of spare parts prices in the economy. That is one. This is saying that we need more of the big push allocation to deal with our infrastructure projects in 2026, especially the industries that your guests are talking about on set. This is also from Ekuya, and Ekuya is saying that it's a great discussion, but we need money in the system. This is also coming from Michael, and Michael is saying that, yes, the CD is stabilized. We need it to go further down, at least 5 Ghana cedis. That is $1 to 5 Ghana cedis. This is also from him. And the final one is also from Emilia, and Emilia is saying that this is a great discussion, and we expect the finance minister this afternoon to give us the real happenings in the economy and indeed a very good economic policy to transform this country and also job for the youth. These are the few comments we have from our viewers. Before we go, lastly, this afternoon we would have another discussion. We made mention of imports, exports. We have the Executive Secretary of the Import-Export Association here. We'll also be having the PRO for the General Ghana Registered Nurses Association, Greater Accra, also in studio to know the health aspects. And we having also a finance expert to talk about the tax reforms, as you actually mentioned, also on this studio. Before you go, what are your final words?
I would say it's good. We have a good finance minister. But what I would say to him is that they know where we are coming from.
Okay.
And where do we want to go to? Is a reset that the president has spoken about. And therefore, everything that we need to rebase this economy will be dependent on the kind of introduction of policies that is bringing on board 2026 that will drive the economy. That's why I said earlier, every policy that you introduce will have its negative or positive repercussions.
Sure.
So we expect him to come up. All the things that we have said, he knew. And we expect that industry will have a field day. The rationalization of the taxes will also happen. Removal of the COVID tax will happen. And then other sectors that we need to touch base with, especially the agri sector, we need to touch base with. That's what I'm saying. I've said somewhere that for me, with the agri ministry as we have it now, though things are moving, they are moving slowly.
Okay.
But now we should be somewhere far, far, far beyond what we see now.
Okay.
Because that is what is going to drive the economy.
That is what's going to drive the economy.
So we need to.
So we want speed in the agri ministry as well. Mr. Kwashi, your final words before you go.
Thank you very much. My final words would be, for the youth, that we should focus on the skills training.
Okay.
We shouldn't neglect or downplay certain professions or occupation. If you need to learn a skill, maybe you are out of school, if not move forward to the university. If you need to learn a skill, kindly do so, because it is very good to learn how to use your hand, and it will serve you into your future rather than waiting for government to give us some aid. So this is a message for the youth. Let us ready ourselves and learn some skills and improve our own lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I did the discussion with Mr. Stephen Kwashi, who happens to be a finance expert and a business consultant. And he is actually a farmer. He is into onion production. That's why he was talking so much into onion and agri. He's really into that sector. I saw the General Secretary of Food and Beverage Association of Ghana, Mr. Samuel Atu Agri, who gave us extensive policies. That's what the finance minister is supposed to really adhere to. All these things. We are going to have a very wonderful private sector which is going to boom the economy as we all want it to be. This afternoon at 1 p.m., we'll be back on your screen still with a discussion into the 2026 budget because the finance minister will be in parliament exactly 2 p.m. and we are going to stream it live on Clock TV for you. We'll be having executive secretary for the Export and Importers Association of Ghana. We'll be having a finance expert who is going to speak more into taxation. And we have the General Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association, the PRO, will be with us to talk also in the health sector and what they want to see. So exactly 1 p.m. tune into Clock TV. Let's hear from you. Let's get to know what you also expect to see in the 2026 budget reading, which is going to take place exactly 2 p.m. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the Koko Digest Morning Show, and I am Clement Yabankwe. Do enjoy the rest of the show.